forgot something. I forgot something. Because I'm bad. Yay. Now it's working. Hi, guys. I decided I'm going to play some computer game tonight. What do you think about that? Options, options, options. We'll accept that. There we are. Now listenable volume. We'll ask about available missions. We'll accept this task. So, Rebirth is this City of Heroes server. Good evening to whomever has joined me. I've never played here before. They just added some new content, and it was mentioned on Massively Overpowered. So I figured I'd give their server a try too. I don't know what the differences are between it and Homecoming, which is where I normally play, which I have streamed in the past. I believe it's my second most streamed game ever, City of Heroes. Guild Wars 2 is my most streamed game, and City of Heroes is second. That's what I started streaming when I began my streamer career. Hi, Professor Hoffman. Okay, I understand how to con critters thing. Thanks, McCready. I have to defeat 2 thugs. Got him. 2 down. So much more evil to catch. A bunch of the names I tried for this character were already taken, much to my disappointment. I'm surprised that on one of the smaller servers than Homecoming, they have so many of the names taken. A couple of them were pretty obscure, too. There we are. We've got our first boosts. We have to defeat 4 thugs. That's 4. I have an enhancement. And since my character is male, clearly, it must be a male enhancement. Let's pretend I didn't say that. This will be a 8.3% increase in the damage I do. They shall fear me. Learn about enhancements. Talk to him. Need to be introduced to a new contact. What? Oh. All right, we have a mission. Find the formula and defeat all the thugs. I can do that. After all, I am a superhero. Interesting. They have either removed or it's not available yet in-game, perhaps it's level locked, the ability to change the difficulty of missions. That's a strange choice. Bump, bump. Yeah. Bump it, bump, bump. Come on. The wrong way. And we are off to train. Welcome down. Definitely fewer people. Homecoming. There'd be probably 24 people to view here. I want to train up to a new level of power. Oh, please give me some smiting. I want to do some smitage. Let's go with glue. And we do have the merit vendor. Special salvage. Clearance. First anniversary badge. Takes 100 influence and that's the only things you can get are the salvage. And on Homecoming, a lot of the stuff that you got if you were a subscriber after the game went free to play is available for free for this person NPC. Do I have a mission? I have none, so ask about available missions. What was lost? Part 1, Demons and Gangsters. Man, we didn't have enough problems with Galaxy City. The Hellions are terrorizing the neighborhood nearby. Majority of the Paragon Police Department are too busy trying to contain the situation in Galaxy, and we've got tons of refugees that are trying to take shelter. We need your help in taking back that neighborhood. I need to defeat 5 Hellions. It's Twin Shot. We'll get to her in a bit. I'm also not sure as to how much of the changes that were made on Homecoming were added to the original code they got, and how many were part of the original code. I've received a clue. Clues reveal more information on the current story arc you're on. The clues on your navigation bar to see what you found. One of the Hellions threatened you after you took him down. You all can't stop what's coming. We know what we're going to get. You've been told what's going to happen next. Galaxy is just the first step. Hibachi, which is not to be confused with a small Japanese grill, the hibachi. Oh, so you don't have to talk to them to conclude a quest. That's interesting. I'm also not sure as to how much of the stuff that I remember is colored by the time I've spent in Homecoming, and so which one of them is presenting, something like this feels different to me, but it's different from Homecoming. I have no idea if it's different from the game the way it was when they shut it down, which is sort of the code base this is based on. What are you thinking? Officer Nelson in charge of PPD's cleanup of the neighborhood. I will speak with Officer Nelson. So the code is all based on original actual code from the game. Just before it shut down. Basically, the code, as I understand it, was the code that was on their test server for the last issue or patch of the game that was never released. And I know it was built upon by the guys at Homecoming. I don't know if they kept like a pristine copy. And that's what these guys have built their server. Nightthorn, right? Heard you were responsible for helping us take back this area. We all appreciate it. Pardon me. You and Matt are already doing a lot for the city. Set a good example for those lazier heroes. It's a shame that his wife Dana died in Galaxy. Anyway, you could use more of your help here if you're willing to give it. Yes, can you tell me about more Hellion activity? I could write a whole book about the many problems the Hellions are giving us. They're over in Prometheus Park right now. We've got reports that they've kidnapped several people and are trying to take others in the park. Someone has to stop them, but we just don't have the manpower to keep this neighborhood safe and go after them. It'll be up to you to make that happen, Mason. I'm on it. Leave it to me. For instance, I have no idea if when I hit level 4 or 6. 6, I think. What? You get, on Homecoming, you get a travel power. The original, although I think they changed it, originally on the game it was rescue some citizens. Two. Oh, look, this guy's lording it over someone who get knocked down. Oh, this guy's shooting at me. We can't let that continue on. He's got to take some significant damage here. I mean, really, who uses a machine gun against the city? He's just, doing his bit to help out the city. This is why they're evil. He's shooting at me. Respawn rates seem high. Again, I have no idea if I'm basing that on feel from my experience in Homecoming. But connection lost to map server. I never had that happen in Homecoming that I remember. Will I return dead? Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. This poor person's really afraid. Alvin. Sorry, Alvin. Sorry, Alvin. Didn't realize Alvin, not Alvin. Okay, that's my hero. Okay. That's interesting. Caps lock's on. That's reassuring, okay. Do I wake up dead? Right-handed screen will pop up exclamation points. Menu options. Control experience. When you log off, you get bonus XP. Targeting enemies. I think I got that handled. Enhancements. So they have to. It looks like I got rolled back completely. And that the first mission I didn't count. So they don't sync their databases extremely often. And there aren't any bad guys. So defeating them, oh, there they are. clue. That's odd. I've been told before that I don't have a clue. I joke, of course. So I got rolled back. Which I'm pretty sure I've never experienced in Homecoming. Maybe a short rollback, but something like quest completion I would have expected. That would go, that would get synced up in the database pretty quick. But I could be mistaken. Still, private server, run by presumably a small group of players, doing their best. Respawn rate is very high. Or at least it feels that way. It is really fast. Caverns. Pardon me, guys. Coming through. Don't mind me. Seriously, don't mind me. I warned you guys not to mind me. Now I'm just going to run through. Stupid gangbangers. Can I now call Matthew Kabashi? I do have him. He gave me his phone number. We're like friends. I found an artifact they had. It looks like it belongs to Magi. The Magi Vault in Galaxy City was destroyed during the incident. There's probably hundreds of dangerous artifacts floating around. At least we got one. What do you have in mind? We need to find one of the Hellions' bases and get information on what they're planning. And where they're holding those hostages, without them knowing about it. Which means you'll need to get yourself some information and a disguise. Alright, defeat Hellion informants and get the plans. If memory serves, the Hellion informants are in the tunnel over here. Pardon me, guys. Don't mind me. Looks like we have to do a little vaulting. Got the costume, the disguise. I look like one of them. I must have taken their skin because my character, in fact, doesn't look human at all. But a skin costume does sound like the sort of thing he would do. I have the information. I can now leave the warehouse. As you might suppose, I have done this a time or two. One thing that's different here is the Matthew Hibashi chain is what starts you as my memory of the game, and I think it's the same. Was that you start talking to somebody in City Hall and get some machines from them. I'm almost level 3. Very close. Missions. No time to lose. You know, the Hellsworn are preparing this ritual of souls. You need to get there. Stop it once and for all. Most important thing is to stop that ritual and rescue the citizens who are killed. There's one other thing I'd like you to look into. I can even find out who gave them the ritual. The ritual of souls. Night is falling on Paragon City. Take me down to Paragon City. The criminals are evil and have no pity. Pardon the yawn. It's been a rough day for me, you know. Waking up, it takes a lot out of me. Hurry. We've got our buffs leveled up. Watch out. Second floor. Pet supplies, lingerie, power tools. It's cinder burn. Why would you burn a cinder? That just doesn't make any sense. I checked the nearby computer. It's Matthew Hibashi's wife. I'm not going to listen. I am many things, but I'm not going to intrude on even if it's just a verbal reunion between a loving wife and husband. I'll tape record it. Listen to it later. Check and see. Verse. Interact. Idle. Music. They don't have the leveling difficulty yet. I think. No. Interact. No. Huh. Interesting. Oh, I can call Matthew and watch. Your wife's alive, Matthew. It's not too late to save her. I've received my first merit reward. Rewarded for completing difficult tasks. Allow you to exchange them for powerful rewards such as enhancements. Release people, be introduced to new content. Oops. Yes, Sandra Costel. And a mission from, what's it say? Well, we also need to talk to Miss Liberty. Get ourselves a little bit of training. So one of the things I definitely like better about Homecoming is the options from the NPC vendor to allow you to increase your XP that you get. Lots of various other game breaking buffs and skills and stuff from this vendor. Now maybe here you just have to hit a certain level for them to open up. Because I can buy the Rebirth first anniversary badge, so I will. Enhancement converter. Grant you a single enhancement converter salvage. I don't know if that's something from the original game or something they've added here. Let's go ahead. Right up. Train to a new level of power. I don't want to train up right now. I have 2 slots available. We will increase our damage skills. One thing I would like all of the City of Heroes servers I've played is to give us an escape closes open windows function. That would be nice. Okay, so that thing will last a turn longer, but it doesn't have a turn effect. Got it. Okay, so range increase, accuracy debuffs, both of these would qualify for, and endurance. Reduce the endurance on Dark Embrace and throw accuracy debuff on Dark Blast. One of the advantages of the dark skills is that when you hit with them, they can, maybe always do, proc a debuff on the target that reduces their accuracy. Hit them a few times, their accuracy can get debuffed to the point where they become quite inaccurate and miss you frequently. And that's a good survival defensive benefit. That truck hit me for a point of damage. Hi, Sandra. Hi, you're the Night Swarm. Matthew Hibashi told me you'd be here to help out. My name's Sandra Castell. I'm one of the survivors of Galaxy City. I was a doctor in the hospital back then. Now I'm just doing my best to try and bring the people of Hyperion Way back together. It isn't easy, though. There's a lot of resistance here. Something bad is happening in Night Swarm. Something's trying to turn the people against each other. We have a lot of refugees from Galaxy being housed here. The government has been sending food and supplies for them, but someone has been stealing said supplies, leaving the people angry and restless. What's worse, they're not angry at the thieves, they're angry at the people trying to help them, saying they should be doing more to protect the refugees. The people in Hyperion Way need to believe that there are people out there who can save them, who can help them. Tonight. I think you and I can do just that. There's a protest going on nearby by a hero, led by a hero named Ice Drone. He's also from Hyperion Way, and he's trying to make a stand against how the government is handling the food supply situation. He's using his role as a hero to incite the people, but the government is doing everything they can. Someone is stealing all the food supplies being sent to the refugees. Between that, containing the situation in Galaxy and all the other normal superpowered crime that's going on in Paragon City, everyone's stretched thin. Please, nice. You have to try to talk to Ice Drone and convince him to stop trying to incite the people and use his powers to help find out what's going on. I'll do my best. Yeah. Yeah, going woo, woo, woo to the people trying to incite them to violence. Kind of a dick. Arrogant man. It really said oh, arrogant hero, it says. You're Night Sworn, right? Great to have you here. Grab a sign. Help us tell the government that we'll have no more of their blatant mishandling the situation. The people of Hyperion Way are hurt. Need more help. It isn't right that they're just letting those supplies be stolen. Don't you have superpowers? You can help track down who's stealing the food supplies. I could, but the people in charge need to get their act together. Galaxy's gone now because they didn't have the proper procedures in place. Now supplies for refugees are going away again because the government can't get their act together. Heroes can't just swoop in and make it right. The government needs to take some responsibility in the matter. You have the power to do something about this. What kind of hero are you? I'm a hero that gets to the heart of the problem. What kind of hero are you? If you think you're so high and mighty, then why don't you go fix all this yourself? Like the skulls that are hanging around Hyperion Way nearby. In the meantime, I'll be here trying to get some real results. Not just going after the surface of the problem. I'll deal with the skulls and get to the bottom of this if you want. Dick. I need to defeat 15 skulls. That's a lot of skulls. And those are orange difficulty skulls. They're big. Those are Hellions. For Hellion, I need to defeat skulls. It's just a minion. He happens to be 2 levels higher than me. I'll take our chances. They hit hard. Those are skulls. Perhaps I should learn to read, noob. Skulls. That's a skull. Aggro range seems bigger than I'm used to as well. Again, where that's all over. And they're respawning. This is not good. The respawn rates are just unplayably high, it seems like on this server. It's possible they were like this in live, but I don't think so. I haven't moved on to die. All over the place. What the hell was that? Yeah, man. Get me away from the respawns. Oh, I got another aggro behind me. Two. Gotta say, not liking the respawn. The respawn rate is making the game unplayable. Really bad. I mean, I have played other games where respawn rate killed it for me. The last time I was playing Star Wars Galaxy's Restoration 3 server, I was working on the level 20 classes, and the respawn rate was so fast I literally could not finish it because I had to loot something from a guy I had defeated, and mobs kept spawning. And you can't loot when you're in combat. I was constantly in combat. I could not get out of combat. And I haven't been back to the server since. And it's a private server, similar to this. And so stuff like respawn rates is controllable in the code they've got. I understand certain mobs in certain places need to have some sort of reasonable respawn rate so that, you know, all the players can access the quests. Most of the old school games don't have shared tagging, open tagging. But I gotta say, so far, this is not great. I can't believe this. Skulls are trying to act like they're out to help everyone. Something isn't right with the skulls, Nightsworn. But it's starting to make sense. Let me explain. Some of the people I've treated have said they've been hearing another way around all of this, that someone's willing to take care of them. I also haven't seen those same people for days. I don't think it's a coincidence. They've probably gone and joined the skulls, but as much as I want to hate them, I can't. They're being used. All they want is safety and security. The skulls aren't going to be the ones to give it to them. I agree. I don't think it's a coincidence either that the food supplies are going missing in all of this. I know how this sounds jaded. I think either the skulls or Eystrom are behind this. I really don't want to believe that Eystrom would put his own political agenda ahead of the needs of the people. I've heard people saying that the skulls have been directing possible candidates to a park nearby about places to meet. If you go, you can go there and find the instructions. You should be able to track down exactly what they're doing. To train, because I leveled up again. So that's my first significantly negative impression of the server. The respawn rates are just set too high, especially in a server that's not especially heavily populated at this point. Having to choose an entry and exit point for the quest. I've got to beat up 15 dudes. Okay, let me work my way through in such a way that respawns won't mean I aggro too much. That's kind of games. Try and cultivate. People shouldn't have to worry about, oh, if I get too many respawns too fast, I'm just going to get murdered. Sure, he's wasting my fortune. I got a temporary power. Not sure what it was. Not what I think. Shadowy presence? Maybe. Not sure. I have unlocked access to new power sets. Okay, so the transport powers are available. Okay, good. That was something they added, I think, later in when the game was live. Is they moved it from level 14 to get access to travel powers. Travel powers. They moved it to flight. But now I can fly as if I were an eagle to the sea. To find the instructions left behind the skulls. And now I'm flying! With the greatest of ease. I'm searching. Hey, Vorp. At least you got it. Congrats. I felt I got lucky last night that I finally got the focus ring on only 10 reforgers. Let's see, 10 or 15? I think it was 10. I will speak with Deborah Rosenfeld. Hero, what are you doing here? Wait, you found my note? You're not seriously considering joining the Skulls, are you? I'm trying to get to the bottom of all this. Oh, well, this is perfect. I'm trying to do the same. I think this is actually going to work out much better than I thought. I was going to convince whoever came here to get me information from inside that building. You were better. What is it? I've got a small camera hidden in my jacket. I'd like for you to monitor me while I go inside the building to get some answers. If they start to get suspicious and come after me, I'm counting on you to come in and get me out. I figure with this, I can get you the information you need to stop the Skulls without them knowing about it. Alright, be careful in there. Click, click. Hi there. I'm an intrepid reporter, I think. I think she's a reporter. Oh, nothing in there. You could hear the clicking of my sensible heels. It's a Bone Daddy. I recognize you. Reporter for the Paragon Times. What are you doing here? Saw your recruitment flyers. I'm interested in joining with all. Oh. Well, you see, the family the Skulls has, do you? Word must be spreading if we can even convince a high and mighty reporter to give up their job and come join us. That or things are worse with the rich people. Paragon. How can you provide for all of us? Are you robbing grocery stores for food? Grocery stores. Now that's small time, lady. I'm not going to go blab about what our secrets are. Let's just say the Skulls have a bountiful supply of food and water that we just happen to find. If you want to help us out more, you can start spreading the word to the people in Hyperion who are trying to kick us out. You do that. Got yourself a surefire ticket to our supply stash. I'll see what I can do. Talk to you soon. He seems like a really nice guy. I'm sure he only wants what's best for the people of Hyperion Avenue. Not. Back to Sandra Castel we go. Castel. Why am I? Oh. Because I clicked the wrong thing. There we go. I'm flying! Again! Coming in for a landing. I'm sorry if I bumped into you, Sandra. You know, I never liked reporters until today. Deborah Rosenfeld is great. I'm relieved to know that it was the Skulls who were stealing the supplies and not Meister. I think we're almost through this, nice one. We just need to remember that there's a reason for all this. That it's somehow for us. That it's somehow for us, right? That's what I learned in the Galaxy Agency. Cygnus Hospital, where I worked, was one of the first to be hit by the meteors. I would have been in there if it wasn't for the fact I had to take a walk to calm down after I lost one of my patients. That didn't happen, I wouldn't be here today. That's what I try to remember whenever these horrible things happen. That there has to be a way that this is for us, even if we can't see it. So let's see how exactly this whole situation with the Skulls is going to work out. Well, it's time to put my whole "this is all for a good reason" to the test. One of my friends just texted me that the Skulls are openly attacking people in Hyperion Way. It seems that a group of people were trying to get together to warn everyone about the Skulls. They said Deborah Rosenfeld was trying to get the word out about what they were doing. People of Hyperion Way need a hero, Knight Sworn. Someone to make a stand to show the Skulls that they can't use them for their own ends. I'm going to show the Skulls don't get this. She knew I would do it because I'm the hero. It's a burden, a terrible burden. So I have to rescue 5 people. So here I am again, having to pick out which targets I'm going to try and get to, because I can get to them without. I'm not worrying about respawns. There's nobody close to this. These ones are close together. That's kind of dicey. It'll be fine if I don't aggro, like say, both groups. Two, and you'll note this one's respawned already. safe from aggroing the others. And respawned already. Yeah, the respawns are set way too high. And if you were overpowered and doing street sweep, which is what we used to call it when we were just getting XP by defeating mobs on the street. It would be ideal, but only if you were overpowered. That's 5. Would have stopped the skulls operation. Oh, I'm going to put a stop to the skulls on. You know, so we had one short outage and rollback. Not that surprising on a smaller private server. The respawn rates, though, out in the open world, I've got a significant issue with. Ice drone. Let's see if Nice One shows up. You think I'm a bad hero? You're never going to change anything. He's a little bit crazy. Rock and roll. Willing to let the skulls get away with it just for his own political ends. What a douche. Not very super heroic. But then that's Ice Drone. There's a reason he wasn't called Nice Drone. See what I did? He's not Nice Drone, he's Ice Drone. I didn't say anything. No, why did you bring it up? Just picking my way through because I want to be careful and not draw too much attention. Too many baddies at once is a baddie idea. Another one? She didn't even notice I was fighting. Her friend's getting his ass kicked right next to her, and she doesn't. You know, if a shotgun blast could actually knock you down, the simple law of physics is that it would knock down the guy shooting the gun, too. It's just physics, baby. All those movies where you see that nonsense happen. Find the supplies. Take out any skulls guarding them, huh? Okay. Sure. We've got enough here to last us a good while. We keep getting that sweet info and we'll have Atlas in no time. Ooh, a supply guard. I doubt he's actually a supply guard. He says supply guard, but I think it's a lie. It's a fib. stop our operation. The skulls have more support than you can dream of. You'll never catch me. Stop us. You hear me? I hear you. Somebody's flapping their lips. I'm not sure who. Catch the skull leader. More skulls. Received my first taste of invention shot. That's used for craft. Right. Wow. Okay, they put a lot of the various and sundry secondary powers. They made them inherent instead. Okay. Wow. Rest there. Got it. Okay. So they removed the need for the vendor to sell these things, sell them for free. Interesting. Zowies, you've just received a mission to find Zowies. Zone glowies. Zowies are clickable objects you can find in the zone. Press M, click the map tab to see the mission of the Zowie. Great. You can collect. You may see more Zowies in a zone, and you need to click to complete a mission. That's okay. Time to get on it. Huh. I do not remember that from the original game at all. So that may be them adding glowies from, like, they have an +2 left. You can't stop what's coming, Night Sworn. None of you can. You're quick on your feet, Night Sworn. I'll fix that. Just try to come up here and stop us. Wow, I think that was a dare. That sounded like a dare to you. It sounded like a dare to you. There he is. Bonebreaker, huh? Bonebreaker, but now he's just broke. I gotta work on my superhero terms. Head back out into Atlas. Yeah, the superhero taunts, the sort of Spider-Man banter type stuff. It needs work. Let's talk to Sandra. Level 5. You did it. Officials from the government are distributing the supplies you found. Bonebreaker and the rest of his gang are going to be put away for a very long time. The people you rescued from the skulls are already talking about everything you've done to help our neighborhood, and you bet I am too. Aaron Thierry is my new contact. He's right where I just came out of. Training to do. Hi, Aaron. Hello, Nightsworn. I'm Aaron Thierry, a scientist in the illustrious group known as Seraph. Abashi has informed me of your work to push back the chaos in Atlas. I have some information that may prove particularly useful. As this is going to be something that is more important than my previous experiment, I have left my labs to work with you in the field, as they say. Matthew Habashi has informed me about what you know, which is that Arachnos has been trying to destabilize the area of Atlas. An interesting idea, to say the least, attacking the heart of the City of Heroes. I've been keeping my eye on particular events. I believe I know where we may be able to strike to prevent Arachnos from attaining its goal of total domination over Atlas. There's been a large gathering of Hellions in the northern part of Argosy Industrial. The area was once the center of industrial work. But that honor has since gone to Independence Port. The mostly empty warehouses there are now being used by the Hellions. I've deduced that it's highly possible that the Hellions are setting the stage for Arachnos to use those warehouses for some sort of invasion. I would suggest a full-out attack on the Hellions to prevent this from happening. We need to defeat 15 more Hellions. Some good old-fashioned kill 5 rats. Oh, 15 Arachnos, not Hellions. Once again, I have to pick where I'm going to be very carefully. Over here so that those guys that respawn is ridiculous. Get out of the way here because I'm going to go back and forth with them because they're going to respawn as fast as I can kill them. That's just and they're back already, the other one. Back and forth killing these two groups, which is silly, but it'd be even more silly to try and do it any other way. Hey, I actually bumped those ones off before these ones could finish respawning. Before those other two respawn, and then they immediately respawn. anyway. Do you think that's going to really do any good, sir? That's all 15. Curious to see. I assume the other two spawn. Yeah, they did. Hi, Aaron. This is a very intriguing turn of events, Nightsworn. It seems that my calculations were off about the Arachnos incursion. I had believed your efforts in Atlas would deter them, but it seems to only serve to fuel their anger to begin their invasion. I'm curious. I believe this will be the time where your true worth will be put to the test. Do you believe that you have the abilities to help push back the Arachnos attack? Arachnos will not stop until they've taken over all of Atlas. The situation is somewhat dire, you could say. Most of the Freedom Phalanx are currently unable to fight, whether it's due to issues in Galaxy City or threats by the Praetorians. The fate of Atlas is left in the hands of heroes such as yourself. Our goal will have to be to find the main base of Arachnos and strike it. Defeat a wolf spider command. 5 wolf spider commanders, if memory serves. They also have 1 or 2 friends with them. So it's like beat a commander and 2 dudes, and then beat a commander and 2 more dudes. So in this case, again, we'll be going back and forth. That's Wolf Spider Tacons, Wolf Spider Commander, and there's Wolf Spider Commander, and I am correct. I remember correctly. Commander and 2 dinks. Commanders. Why would I want to do it any other way? I guess you can argue that maybe it's better, more straightforward, and that you just have to do any sort of street sweeping for XP. You just have to find 2 groups that are not going to pull each other or another, and concentrate on killing them back and forth. This feels a bit artificial, probably because it's really artificial. And hey, look. Are back now too. So certainly you never have to track down mobs. Kill 10 rat quests. Wow, there's an extra one spawned. That's a little trouble. explosives. Ah, there. Oh, yeah, that's right. Boxes. That's one. And then do we have to do something with these Arachnos antennae too? I'm not sure if that's now a mission, a next mission after this. Interesting. Interesting, they have to be 3 different ones this time. The respawns don't count. Don't. So long, jerks. Haha, losers. Thing is sometimes stuff like destroying the antennae is going to have mobs, like 2 batches of mobs next to it. You can't clear both mobs because they respawn so fast. That can be a problem. That's where it gets to be a problem in fast respawn. And I assume that's now. Defeat 3 Arachnos pylons. Yeah. My memory was correct in this particular case. They have to be 3 different ones, as we just determined with the boxes, I believe. Looks like stand out the range and just hit the pylons, although I think we're missing it on them. At least in this case, we don't need to add Arachnos that are standing next to it. The Arachnos dorks. Here then. Standing in fire. Stop standing in fire. Hey me. Maybe you want to stop standing in fire. Just a suggestion. Totally up to you, me. That's you. Not you, me. An old friend from Latra. We haven't heard from him forever. Hey there. No, this is not Homecoming. This is one of the other servers. This is Rebirth. There was an article about it today in Massively Overpowered. So I decided to pop over and see what the server was like. The only really significant difference I've seen in this and Homecoming is the respawn rate on the street mobs is very, very fast. So if you, as I was doing a couple minutes ago, if you've got 2 groups of mobs, you needed to kill like 15 of Hellions, you would kill a couple of the Hellions, finish off one group, turn to the second group, kill them, and the first group would have respawned. So that can be a problem, or I guess a blessing. But regardless, it's much faster here than Homecoming. That's the only really, really big difference I see. The power sets are a little different. I think they've added some of their own stuff the same way Homecoming has. So they have some differences there. I don't know how big they are. Mostly I play on Homecoming. This server seems to be significantly less populated, at least than the Homecoming server I play on, which is Everlasting. Like I said, the article on Massively Overpowered, they were talking about the additions that these guys had just made, so I wanted to take a look at it. No real showstoppers or anything overly impressive. The respawn on mobs could be a showstopper in places. Basically, the best way, if you've got to kill 10 Hellions or 15 Arachnos tacticians, is to just find 2 groups of mobs and go back and forth between them. That way you won't aggro any extras. It used to be for back in original when you were doing street sweeping, to just get XP by killing the bad guys. You basically path through the whole place, killing everything. Here, you just go back and forth between 2 groups because they respawn so quick. But it also means, for instance, those Arachnos pylons I just had to destroy. I just had to find a place where I wasn't going to aggro mobs, because otherwise they were going to keep respawning. I'm so close to level 6. I can almost taste it. This is unexpected. I would have thought that a normal man like Matthew Hibashi would have run off with something. Do something so brave. Oh, Hibashi ran off. Ask about missions. Well, not work. Arachnos already has an agent on the inside. I have to save Matthew Hibashi and Atlas from Arachnos. Gee, I was just going to let Matthew Hibashi die and let Atlas burn. Yeah, right now I would say that from what I've seen, and it's relatively limited, I've only been doing it an hour and 25 minutes, fewer players, less lively, and that one thing I would say is a technical issue especially for a new player. Other than that, it seems fine though. But still, if I were, handing out a recommendation, I would recommend one of the Homecoming servers, personally. City of Heroes has a little bit of the same problem that Star Wars Galaxies has. If you're familiar with the Star Wars Galaxies private server community, where it tends to get really tribal. If you don't play on my server, there's obviously something wrong with it. Kind of tribal. It's another old school game. It also plays a lot differently than any of the sort of standard games today. So it can be very, very difficult for a new player. It can be very unapproachable. Star Wars Galaxies. Most of the concepts and the way things work in City of Heroes are relatively understandable to someone who's played something like WoW, Latro, Star Wars Old Republic, anything like that. Star Wars Galaxies, at least the original version, was not like that. It was very, very different. It didn't play like them. The game systems are very different. So it is a very tough game to approach as a newcomer unless you've got either a friend or another source of information to help you with learning to play it. Later in the game, they made a big change that the players at the time hated, but other players who came on later liked, where they turned it into a game that worked much more like a WoW or a LATRO or Star Wars: The Old Republic. But the original version, very, very, very different game systems. And those two communities tend not to get along, let's just say. That's level 6 for me. And when you get a level, you get 60-second or 90-second buff. So I want to beat the crap out of things as quickly as possible. Yeah, just be aware with the Star Wars Galaxies community that it has a very tribal nature to it. And the people who played the game at launch are very hostile toward the people who preferred the game the way it was when it was changed, called the NGE, the New Game Experience, I believe. So don't take anything anyone says without a grain of salt. They're not likely to lie to you, but they're going to come at it from their point of view. I have played and enjoyed both versions. I completely understand why the people who were playing the original version when it got changed feel betrayed by what happened after. They were playing a game they loved, and suddenly vast amounts of it were changed on a very fundamental level. They went from a skills-based system where there were like 35 different skill trees, basically, and you could mix and match them to a degree. You could have a certain number of total skill points, and you could have a rifle and a creature handler and maybe bits and pieces of 2 or 3 other ones scattered in, and you could mix and match however you wanted to. And people loved the flexibility. And then they changed everything, and you have 9 classes, and you have to choose a class. And so the people who were playing it originally hated that. The people who came on after that, they enjoyed it. But it created very, very separate communities. I will also note that it is indicative, the amount of passion you see in the communities is indicative of how much people really connected with that game. So there's a lot to like in Star Wars Galaxies. If you're interested in, old school gaming, the 2 primary servers, there's one called the Star Wars Galaxies EMU, SWG EMU, and it's currently, I can't remember the name of the server. They are an emulator, and they're emulating the original game. And then the biggest server of them all is called Legends, and they are running leaked code, similar to how this game is running leaked code. No, it's completely unrelated. The game systems are completely different. In fact, Galaxies was shut down right around when Star Wars: The Old Republic was launched. I can't remember exactly when. But it was shut down right around then, either a little before, a little after, right about the same time. Can't remember which. But the games are very different. Star Wars: The Old Republic, for instance, takes place about 2,000 years, I think, before the Star Wars movies. And Star Wars Galaxies takes place in between the first 2. Yeah, right after Star Wars and before Empire. There's also a server called Restoration 3, which is based off the leaked code, but using a modified version of the original game system to recreate. There was an intermediate step between the launch version and the NGE version that none of the later players are familiar with, and most of the earlier players didn't like. But it's in sort of the middle zone, and it's got a lot of the features. By the time the NGE came out, the game had a lot more stuff in it. More questing, it had space combat, which is great. Whereas the original had far more original and interesting and deeper game systems. It just didn't have as much sort of additional stuff. Basically, the players played the other players, if that makes sense. A player created content ruled. The player cities, players arranged PvP, stuff like that. When people talk about a sandbox, that's the kind of game they're talking about. We'll send your body back to whatever's left of the FSBA. I don't think so. At the time, it was a popular complaint to say that Star Wars: The Old Republic pressured. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Pressured Sony Online to shut down Star Wars Galaxies, but I don't think that's... I've never seen any evidence that that was true. Speak with Mashu Habashi. Well, where is Matthew? Is Matthew here? No, there's Dana. Where's Matthew? Can't remember. Is he behind one of the doors or something? Or some other place? Can I spot him anywhere? Looking for Matthew. Doesn't appear to be behind any of the cage doors. No. It looked and played more like a, like an MMO that you would expect. The space combat was more arcade-like. Actually, what it was more like was like a pared down version of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. If you're old enough to remember those games. So, somewhat arcade-like, somewhere between an arcade game and a simulator. So it was, whereas combat in Eve is more tactical. You're not really doing any difficult steering on your own. You don't have to target things manually on your own. This was more a skill-based, somewhere between an arcade and a spaceflight simulator. All right, where's Matthew Habashi then? All right, now I got to try and find him because I don't remember where he is. So, there is an enormous amount of cool stuff in Star Wars Galaxies, but just be aware that it has a learning curve, especially if you play the original version. It has a significant learning curve. One of the reasons that drove them to make the big, huge changes that they made was the success of World of Warcraft. Basically, they asked themselves the question, we have Star Wars. How is this World of Warcraft game making so much money and we're not? Now, mind you, they were making money. Star Wars Galaxies was profitable. In fact, it was, I believe, more profitable than EverQuest was at the time. But it wasn't profitable enough. They had Star Wars, and WoW was making literal billions of dollars. And so they tried to make the game more like WoW. And one of the Lucas executives described it, I believe, as kill, loot, repeat. And that was the opposite of the way the game was originally designed. The game was designed more originally as a sandbox world simulator. You could, for instance, be a moisture farmer. I mean, that's one of the things that the Lucas executives, I don't want to say joked about, but talked about, is the game as it existed. You know, we felt we wanted to change the game so you would be more like Luke and less like Uncle Lars, Uncle Owen. But a lot of people, it turned out, actually want to do the harvesting and crafting and stuff. It had non-combat professions. It had entertainers, dancers, musicians, image designers for doing makeovers. And people love to do that stuff, to do the social components. I'm still trying to find Matthew. And I'm having zero luck at doing it. All right, we can't go down. Anything over here I missed? Nope, doesn't look like it. So, it's a great game, but it doesn't play like most other MMOs. I don't think it's not really a word of warning, just a word of awareness. Matthew? It's Matthew. Oh, Matthew's laying on the ground. Matthew, that was crazy. You could have been killed. What were you thinking? No. You did a brave thing, Matthew. Not a lot of people would have tried that. There's no time to rest now. I'll be fine. You've got to go after the mole. It's Aaron Thierry. He betrayed us all. He was the one helping Arachnos all this time. Thierry, he's the one who told me about the mole. I don't know what he's up to. Why he betrayed us. He even told Arachnos that you wouldn't be coming. It's like he wants you to succeed or something, but he told Arachnos it was all about all of our weaknesses when we'd be vulnerable. He even told them to hold off my execution for a few more minutes. And it was just in time for you to get here. You've got to find him. I'll handle this. Don't worry. I'm all heroic and stuff, you know. Oh, he's up. Okay. But yes, when you say player-based, that is exactly right. It was entirely player-based. The entire economy in Star Wars Galaxy was player-based. There was no kill and loot. If you wanted a gun, generally speaking, somebody had to find the resources. They had to mine the resources for the metals. They had to harvest any stuff that required plants or animals. Then they had to take that stuff and either use it themselves or sell it to a crafter who would make various parts. But he might not be able to make all the parts. He might have to have a droid engineer make one of the parts so he could make a better gun. And so all of this was woven together. It had housing. It had player housing. It had player vendors that they could put in their houses. So it had this whole economy element to it. The only games I think that have done economy anywhere near as well, there's Star Wars Galaxies and there's Eve. I don't think any other game has done it especially well. For instance, one thing not enough of them do is they include a lot of faucets, but not many drains, if you're familiar with the terms. Game designers use it. Basically, there are a lot of ways to make money, but not a lot of ways to spend money in most games. Most MMOs have a lot of faucets, and so over time, the amount of money increases. That drives inflation up. Star Wars The Old Republic, not Galaxies, has in the last year and a half or so has seen an inflation of about 20 times, a little bit more. There was a thing a friend of mine was making money off a couple of years ago, selling them between 14 and 18, maybe 20 million, and now they sell for 400 million. And that's what happens when you've got all this money flowing in, not flowing out. That's one thing Galaxies did well, and Eve does it well. Aaron Theory. Nightsworn, I was wondering when you'd arrive. I assume you saved Hibashi. Given that you're here now, I also assume that he told you that he saw me. I asked them to spare Hibashi's life. While a coward for most of his life, Hibashi took a stand. And due to the example you set for him, and so I decided to save his life. To have his life intertwined with your choice. Had you decided not to show up or were killed, then he too would have been killed. In a few moments, the commander in charge will show up to fight you. You will soundly defeat him, bringing an end to all this, returning Atlas to its former peace. Why? Why did you do all of this, Thierry? The heroes of this city became too complacent, Nightsworn. Too many left crimes unanswered, believing it was beneath them. Too many simply went about living their lives as if they were normal, when they were not. When they had responsibilities to the people, the heroes of this city needed to be shaken back awake, to realize their true role in this life. The destruction of Galaxy helped with this, but still, heroes in Atlas continued in their complacency. There needed to be a strike into the heart, and so, here we are. And so you think you're the good guy by joining Arachnos? I do not believe I'm the good guy in this situation. Arachnos was a means to an end, and a method to help wake up the heroes of the city, to remind them of their true calling. Heroes will remember for some time that they must always be vigilant, that no part of the city is completely safe. They will stand and protect others, putting their own petty views or laziness behind them. And you yourself have become a product of this. If it were not for the destruction of Galaxy, for the Arachnos intervention, would you have been stirred to action, to use your abilities for the good of mankind? I would have helped regardless of the situation. Perhaps, Nightsworn. That is what makes you stand out from the others. But many started out just like you, I'm sure. Eyes full of wonder, your heart bursting with the desire to save the city, the state, the country, the world. But how many times can you do this? Once, twice. It'll eventually wear you down, and you will give in to apathy like so many others before you. And then someone like myself will come along to reawaken you. I have, Nightsworn, one final request of you. You have a request from me? Kill me. What I have done is unforgivable. I do not deserve to live in the same world as these people, not after what I helped trigger. It is not true justice if I survive and all the innocent die. Deliver the final call of your justice to me, and seal your role as a hero. No, you'll pay for your crimes like all the others. I arrest him. And here comes the bad guy. Arbiter Medicine. Bum. The good guys win. That would be us. Well, me, not him. Badge earned. I have earned the Savior of Atlas Park badge, and that's where it is. First thing I will do is I will train my level 6 power. And we'll talk with Matthew Hibashi, whose name still sounds like a small Japanese grill. Ah, that's right. I also hit level 5 and hadn't trained up. Studio manager of Architect Entertainment contacted me. On behalf of Architect Entertainment, we'd like to invite you to a VIP tour of our facilities in Atlas Park. Let's come and visit us. Experience the ultimate in entertainment. And Twin Shot. Let's see. Twilight Grasp. Is that a root? No, that's a heal. That's right, that's a heal. Interesting. It heals me and my allies. I think the Defender version of Twilight Grasp only heals allies, not me. Regardless, I'm going to go with more damage. Wrap your fists in negative energy. What do we got? Which is a cone-shaped burst of particles from the netherworld. You can't get enough particles from the netherworld. You know, I think we'll go with smite. So we can blast, gloom, and smite. I mean, come on. Those are the 3 basic food groups. Let's see if we've got any enhancements worth using. We definitely want our gloom to hit. We can't use those. Recharge. Defense buff. We'll just sell them. Rich. We will talk with Matthew Habashi. And his wife. I will continue to fight crime. The fight isn't over yet. Reward merits. More merits, a bunch more of XP. And Mrs. Abashi, she doesn't want to talk to me. I just saved her life and her husband. Yeah, she doesn't want to talk to me. Fine. Whatever. Well, I think I'm going to call it an evening right here. This is a good break point. The next storyline that starts with Twin Shot, who's there, is a rather extended series of missions that give really good XP. Nice. Yeah, you've got to play a lot of them. Well, that is a follow from the next Fex Twister. There we go. I have a spiel, just one. Welcome to my humble little stream of misfunction, malfunction, dysfunction, and sometimes complete and total unfunction. You're most welcome indeed, and thank you very, very much for the follow. Really appreciate that. Yeah, part of it with any game that's sort of freeform like this one is, to the degree this one is, you may have to play with a bunch of classes before you find one you really like. So it's no surprise if the first couple you're kind of meh. Also, it's an old school game, so it's going to be a bit more finicky in trying to find a gameplay style that you really enjoy. More games now tend to make everything a lot more approachable, and not everything in this game is approachable. If you're planning on playing solo, there are a lot of builds you just won't find fun. Simple as that. Whereas if you're going to group up a lot, then you've got access to being a controller or a defender, any of those classes. Exactly. There are countless ways to play now, and you combine, well, not countless, but you combine the very large number of ways of play, and the fact that I am an inveterate, dyed-in-the-wool alt-whore. This accounts for why on Homecoming I have more than 45 different characters. I have a problem. So I'm going to call it here for the evening, though. I want to thank you guys for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it, as always. I should be back tomorrow at my usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow will be Guild Wars 2, as they have a big new content drop tomorrow. We don't know very much at all about it, and I will not be playing it until I start streaming. Not sure. Well, yeah, I won't play it until I start streaming, so I might start streaming early if I feel the real itch to play. Otherwise, it'll be the usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Either way, I will post about it in the Discord. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope the rest of your Monday night goes great. And as always, I like to set a reachable goal for my viewers. I hope the rest of your week doesn't suck. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully you'll see me soon. Have a great night tonight. Take care, and ciao for now. Good night, guys. Yes. Yes, we do. Much coffee, girl. I imagine caffeination is probably one of yours, unless, of course, you go decaf. Thank you very much for the follow as well. Welcome to my humble little channel of humble little stream of misfunction, malfunction, dysfunction, and occasionally complete and total unfunction. You're most welcome indeed, and thank you very, very much for the follow. Thanks, guys. Good night. Take care. Bye.